Today on our 2015 Lincoln MKX, we're going to be installing Roadmaster's Brake-Lite Relay Kit, part number RM-88400. So you can see we've got the left turn signal on in our motorhome, and it's sending it back to our vehicle. If you didn't have a brake-light relay installed, when your braking system in your vehicle applied the brakes, you would only see a brake signal instead of your turn signal. So now we have our brake-light relay activated, and when I hit the brake pedal, that brake signal doesn't interrupt our turn signal. We still have our turn signal. We'll begin our installation on our driver's side. Here in the lower left kick panel area, there's a short red wire that comes with your kit. We're going to need to run this wire through the outside so we can tap into the taillight signal from our motorhome. We're going to be running our wire through the grommet located here. You can use a screwdriver and a piece of airline tubing or something to push through there to help pull the wire through. We've already got wire that we had ran for part of our braking system that we're going to be using to pull it through. So we're just going to be using some electrical tape to tape this to our pull wire. Due to the length of our pull wire, we want to be as close to the grommet as possible. Once you've got it pulled through, you can go ahead and cut that free from the pull wire that you had run. So now we're going to take our brown wire here from our diode kit. We're going to cut the brown wire in half, and we need to peel it back to separate it out so we can tap into it. It may be necessary to cut in between the two so we can peel it. We want to do that on both sides. Now we'll strip back our red wire and each end of our brown wire. We'll twist the red wire onto one side of the brown wire and then crimp on a yellow butt connector. Now we've upgraded ours from the connectors that come in the kit to a heat shrink butt connector, since this does live outside the vehicle. That'll keep out any moisture and help prevent corrosion. And then the other end of our butt connector will just connect right back to the other end of the brown wire that we had cut. And now we're going to use our heat gun to shrink down our butt connector. Next we'll need to disconnect the connector from our brake pedal that goes to the brake light switch. It's located up here. This is our connector right here. You'll want to push in on the tab here and then pull it out. We now need to strip back the sheathing on our connector so we can access the wires beneath it. I now need to tap into the cold side of the brake switch. On this is the purple wires with white stripe. Now there are two coming out of that connector, so we're going to need to cut both of them because they both go to the same terminal. So we'll go ahead and give those a snip. And then we're going to strip back each end. Now we're going to crimp on a blue butt connector onto each of those wires. Now, the ones coming out of the connector, you want to twist them together. And we're going to do the same thing with the other end of those wires. Then we'll take the blue wire from our harness that comes with our brake-light relay. We're going to crimp that onto the butt connector that goes to the connector. And then we'll take the black wire from our harness, and that is going to crimp onto the butt connector that goes to the rest of the vehicle. We'll then plug our connector back into our brake light switch. We'll take the red wire from our harness. We're going to crimp on a blue butt connector to that. And the other end of that is going to connect to the red wire that we routed through the firewall earlier. So we want to strip that back, and we'll crimp them together. We're now going to crimp on a ring terminal onto our white wire. Now the one that comes in the kit is a smaller ring terminal than this. You can use that, it's fine, and use a self-tapping screw and run it into any metal surface that's grounded. We're going to be upgrading ours to a larger size so we can put it on the stud located right here. So we're going to use a 13mm socket and remove the nut off of the stud here. Slide our ring terminal onto the stud and then reinstall the nut. We can now plug our relay into our harness and use some zip ties to tie everything up. And that completes our installation of Roadmaster's Brake-Lite Relay Kit on our 2015 Lincoln MKX.